Hey y'all, Kim Wheeler Poitevien here, and I'm making a video on 5 tips to beat bedtime battles. In my practice, I work with children and teens, and oftentimes the first question I ask parents after they've told me the presenting issues is how is their sleep? And I get a whole range of answers, but usually they fall into two camps. Either the kids aren't sleeping well at all, and they might be up and getting into parents' bed or playing video games and then don't want to wake up in the morning, or they think their kids are sleeping pretty fine. And generally, in my experience, a lot of the kids that I see aren't really sleeping that well. And it could be for a whole host of other reasons. Um, but often, what I work on first is sleep hygiene, making sure that there's a good bedtime routine and that kids are getting a lot of the rest that they need. Given everything that's happened in the past couple of days or weeks, depending on when you're watching this, kids have likely caught up on their sleep. I know that my clients have caught up on their sleep, and so I've noticed that their anxiety, it's pretty much well within the range of what I would expect given everything that's happening right now. And I attribute some of that to maybe the work that I'm doing with them, but also to the fact that they actually have gotten some rest, because sleep has a huge impact on our mental health, right? So I wanted to share a couple of things that I've found to work for me in my practice, and with my own little kids, because I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. And yeah, sometimes they don't really want to go to sleep. And sometimes bedtime is a struggle for me. So the first thing I can say is to create an actual bedtime and stick to it. If you want your kids in bed by 8:30, let's say, you have to create a time that you're going to actually want them upstairs or near before they're actually in bed. And you have to think about what time you actually want them to be asleep by. And that whatever time it is, given the circumstances, is fine. It's whatever works for your schedule. But actually pick a time and stick to it. And then come hell or high water, that's what you stick with. Routine is extremely important with this. Kids need the structure, they need the consistency. So that's number one. Number two is to create a schedule. Depending on their age, they may need a picture, a visual schedule. It could be something that's written, or if the kids are older, that there are clear things that you can sit down with them and say, these are the things that you typically would need to do for bedtime. Create a routine with them. But whatever the routine is, you have to stick to it. And part of the ease of getting them to stick to it is another tip rolled into number 3, which is giving them a choice of the activity sequence, the routine sequence. If they want to brush their teeth before they take a shower, let them. It's not a big deal. If they need a drink of water at the very end of right before they go to bed, then flip when they need to go to the bathroom. But give them a little bit of control in the scenario, age appropriately. Teenagers, I find, typically kind of can do their own thing, but give them some kind of control, and then you'll get a little bit more buy-in into the actual bedtime. Number 3, I'm sorry, number 4 is doing a soothing activity. So this could be if it's in the bath, and then you're using like a lavender scented bath oils or bubble bath. It could be right after you get out of the tub or the shower or whatever, and you're doing lotion massages or oil massages. You're doing some stretches before they get into after they're in pajamas and before they get into bed. And the cool thing about this is that this is a time when you're kind of unwinding, you're relaxing, but this is also when their brain starts to slow down a little bit. And you'll notice that maybe if there are things that are really bothering them, this is the time they'll actually talk about it. So it gets a great opening for you to kind of process some of the heavier stuff before they get into bed, which is a lot of times when they drop some things on you and then it extends bedtime. So this time of doing something like yoga, doing stretches, listening to some calming music, I often have my kids, after they get lotion massages and whatever stuff on, their pajamas on, is I have them clean up their room. Really clean their room, pick up their toys, put them away, because we're going to number 5, which is your bedroom needs to be a calming place. So cleaning up any kind of clutter, Anything that's kind of flashing, if there are game consoles in the bedroom, which is a whole other story, making sure they're turning them off, making sure that anything that's really distracting or making noises is going to be off. And then my bonus tip is pick a really calm bedtime story, audiobook, or podcast. A lot of the kids I work with love Harry Potter. I would, at this time, really strongly encourage them maybe not to turn on something that's super heavy, like the later version, like the later book in the Harry Potter series. And kind of stick to something that's pretty light. There's some great sleep apps that are out there, podcasts that are out there that are great for progressive muscle relaxation. Practicing with deep breathing, and a great guided meditation, which can relieve a lot of anxiety, and it's really soothing. So those are my tips. Hopefully they work out for you, and I'd be really interested in how they work for y'all. Please let me know. And until next time, be kind to yourselves and take care. Bye.